Hi, I'm Shidoshi Jeffrey Miller from Warrior Concepts International here in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Today I'll be talking about the frequently asked question, can I learn on my own? Or can I learn from books and videos or online courses? This is a really good question, and I can understand why some people would want to do this. Okay? But in all reality, there really is no substitute for a good teacher and actual hands-on training. But many experts have made their information available by way of books, videos, and like I said, online training courses. The trick here is in knowing what you can learn and what's going to be more difficult to learn by using this route. So while hands-on training, whether we're talking about regular in-class training or seminars or workshops, provide certain benefits like being able to ask questions, getting real-time feedback from the teacher, and having what I call accountability partners who keep you focused. There are some benefits to learning from books and videos, and those things are training is self-paced. There's no scheduling conflicts with work, family, those kind of things that get in the way of a lot of people. You can stay focused on theory and principles. Okay? It's right there in front of you. And you can reread or hit replay as often as you need to. And there's one other one, very often this route is it's less expensive. So here's some suggestions for learning effectively if you're going to take the route of self-study. So whether you're using the Science of Self-Defense materials or not, here's a few things to keep in mind. One, when you're doing self-training, you have the responsibility of two people, not just one. You have the responsibility of the student in learning the techniques, but you also have the responsibility that the teacher normally has in setting up the lessons and making sure that the students guided along in a very progressive step-by-step way. Often people overlook this, and if we're not careful when we're reading or watching these videos or purchasing things, we can have the tendency to really want to jump to things that are more advanced for us, or skip over the chapters of things that are simple or basic or easy. We've got to be careful with this. So, two then is avoid skipping along to the cool stuff, what people might call the cool stuff. From my experience, the basics are the cool stuff, and you know what, without them you're not going to be able to do the expert techniques anyway. So put in the time, effort, and energy to really master those basics. A lot of people like to skip over things like stances and things like that because they're seen as the necessary evils to getting on to the really cool stuff, and yet the magic and the science that goes behind these protective posturing positions, just it's deeper than I know that I thought when I was a beginner. So be real careful that you're not just skipping ahead. We want to take time for physical practice. From my experience as well, dealing or answering questions from people who have taken this self-study route, what I find is that by and large the greater percentage of these people think that just reading the books or watching the videos or sitting behind their computer reading articles or taking online courses or whatever, and maybe trying things out once or twice to kind of get a feel for things is all it's going to take. And it's absolutely not true. Okay? You need to take time for physical practice. You need to get a handle on balance issues. You need to get involved in what I call the 4 pillars of weapons training or weapons proficiency, and that's familiarization with the technique or the weapon that you're dealing with, actual target striking, and then you've got things that you're actually going to need partners for, and this is being able to retain the weapon or maintain the technique while somebody's resisting against it, or if it's a weapon they're trying to take it away, or disarms. You're dealing with somebody who's trying to do that technique to you, and you're going to need to be able to escape that. Remember, the person who's attacking you on the street, this is not an idiot. This is not somebody that's just that is out for your benefit. Okay, this person is out to win. They're out to crush you, knock you down, that kind of thing. This person is going to make everything that you do 10 times more difficult than it is even in a normal class situation, because your partners want to see you do well in a class. The guy on the street, he's got 1 intent and 1 intent only, and you need to stay focused on that. Okay? So remember that reading about something or watching it are not, these things are not the same as actually physically doing it. And like I said, partner up with a friend so you can make sure that you can do these techniques against a real person. So to answer the question, can you learn on your own from books, videos, and online training courses? Sure, of course. Just make sure that you stay focused on your goal. Remember that our goal is real-world self-defense, not just executing some cool, tricky moves to impress our friends, right? You want to make sure that you practice to perfect your skills. You're going to get a good training partner to get some of the benefits that you'd have in class. And use reliable study materials like the Science of Self-Defense training materials, the Danger Prevention Tactics DVD, the Science of Self-Defense, or the Karate Myth book, those kind of things, right? Get these things. They don't have to be mine. Go to Borders and check these things out. Just make sure that you've got reliable stuff, okay? If it looks like it's in question, you might want to pass on it, or when you get it, review it. You can. It's easy to hop online, go to a couple of people's, a couple of expert sites, and toss some questions at them. I know on our site you can go and send me feedback through our contact form. So, by all means, make sure that you're one, being honest with yourself when you do this stuff. You're not just taking the lazy man's route. You understand that even though you might be saving some money on that end, you're going to have to work 2 or 3 times or more harder getting things to happen, because you're going to be the student and the teacher at the same time. And if you don't have any experience, it's very, very difficult to be the teacher. Okay? So, hope this has answered this question. This is Shinoji Miller from Warrior Concepts International, and I'll see you in the next lesson. If you like this video and want to learn more about what it takes to really be safe in today's often dangerous world, I'd like to give you 20 more videos absolutely free. Just go to www.warrior-concepts-online.com/self-defense self-defense-videos.html. Register and I'll give you 20 more.